and greetings to everyone out there in the Blog Talk Radio airways.
We have a very good audience this evening, sir, and I'm so glad to have you with us.
Always a pleasure.
How is the race progressing at this point?
Well, it's going very well. As a matter of fact, our fundraising is absolutely exceptional. In the past 6 months, we've out-fundraised the incumbent Ron Klein 2-1. We are we're probably over $2.5 million raised for this campaign. And the good news was last month we took a poll, and the results of the poll came out. We were ahead 44 to 42%. And even though that's within the margin of error, we figured, 6 months out, that's a good place to be for a challenger campaign, and that really got a lot of people's attention. So some great things coming up as far as fundraising events, and just found out Friday we will be endorsed by the House Conservative Fund, the Republican Study Committee, which, so we're very happy about that. They're going to have a kind of official recognition for that and a press release in June. So everything is going exactly how we would like it. Of course, I'm never complacent, and the most important numbers are the ones on the 2nd of November.
Absolutely. And your primary is in August, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the primary season down here in Florida. We got a young fellow who is all of a sudden he decided to register as a Republican in March, and no one has ever seen him, none of the county chairmen, none of the Republican clubs. So we're just wondering if it's one of those, infamous Democrat ploys, because we know that they don't believe in a level playing field. They're going to do anything that they can. But we should be able to pretty well move right beyond him. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to have a radio debate with him on the 1st of June on Joyce Kaufman's radio show, you know very well. So if you want, put that out on the 1st of June. I think it'll probably be in the 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock hour, and we'll see how this young man stacks up against me as far as seeking that Republican nomination, if he shows up.
I was just going to say, in fact, anyone could call and claim to be him. Who would know?
Yeah, well, no, he has to come into the studio, so it's going to be in his studio. Yeah, so, but he has no website. He has not raised any money to file an FEC report, which the requirement is $5,000. So, we'll see if this is a serious thing or if this is someone that's a plot, a ploy from the Democrat side, or also it's just someone looking to, try to make a little name for himself and get some attention. Either way, we'll just, push on beside him and set our sights on Ron Klein.
We're going to talk this evening about something you know a little something about, and that is national security. And
just a little bit.
Just a little. And Mr. Al-Awlaki has been revealed as being in the leadership for just about all, if not all, of the 11 attacks on America since 9/11, and including 9/11. And many of us had already pretty much connected the dots on this, thanks to the work of the Mill bloggers at Baltimore Journal, Black 5, and 9/11 Families, etc. And but of course, as you know, intelligence has rarely got a notary public stamping it. You have to have it's trends and that you're and
it's trend analysis that you're looking for. Yeah.
Right. And looking at patterns of behavior with someone who has obviously expertise in intelligence, can't we? If I can put these things together, certainly there are people in our government that are putting these things together.
Well, you're absolutely right, but I think, Pat, the problem is that when you have people in leadership, I mean, we saw the testimony of Attorney General Eric Holder, and he refused to say that radical Islam is a problem. When you have a president that takes the lexicon of Islamic terrorism or Islamic extremism or Muslim extremism or jihadism out of our national security strategy talk, then the problem is not about understanding and being able to gather the intelligence on these trends that you see, but it's whether or not you take any action or if you execute any action against it. And so when you sit around and you look at Alawi and all the things we knew about this guy from, back with the time when the 9/11 terrorists moved out to San Diego to stay with him. We saw him and some of the things he was saying and some of these mobs and these speeches he was giving. I mean, all the red flags were up there. The fact that he lied about his Social Security number, the fact that he lied about getting a passport. So the thing is, they're telling us who they are. They're telling us what they want to do, but it's just a matter of us holding their feet to the fire, just the same as, we see with the underwear bomber or with the guy in New York in Times Square or these Somali pirates we keep picking up. We're not dealing with this thing from the aspect of being a war against Islamic totalitarianism and state-sponsored terrorism. We're trying to deal with this as some type of, routine Mayberry RFD law enforcement action, and that's not going to work.
It seems that, and it's hard not to come to the conclusion that our present leadership is more than willing to lose a few citizens to advance their agenda. And
well, that's true.
As well.
Well, absolutely right. And, Alawi came out and put out a statement that, he is telling his brethren to kill American civilians. And, I just read about the report where a multifaceted attack was launched against Kandahar Air Base, which is a place where I spent 2.5 years. And one of the things I'm trying to understand is how is it that this air base, which is really south of Kandahar City, kind of separated from urban areas. I mean, most of the sides are in the desert. How is it that the Taliban was able to mass, rocket, mortar, and small arms fire against that base without any type of perimeter patrol or area reconnaissance getting to it? So I think that we have to be very, very concerned about the fact that we are seeing an uptick of domestic terrorist attacks, and we're seeing the Taliban with a major attack against Bagram Air Base and a major attack against Kandahar Air Base. And then they had the suicide bombing in Kabul, where we had 5 U.S. soldiers and a Canadian, 18 others wounded. So something is not right. We're not sending out the right signals to this enemy that we're serious about fighting them, we're serious about identifying them. What they're getting a sense of, there is a weakness that is there, there's a window of opportunity that they are going to exploit. And when you look at the fact that, the Obama administration just fired its, intel chief, Mr. Blair, makes you wonder, what really is going on? I mean, why would you fire your intel chief? Is it because he is trying to take a stand and you don't like what he's saying? Or is it because, there's such abject incompetence in this administration? They're just looking for a fall guy.
A little of both, probably.
Yeah.
We are speaking with Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, running for Congress from, I keep wanting to say 23rd because I was talking to Doug, but it's 22nd.
Nah, 22nd, yeah. 23rd is Alcee Hastings.
I always pick, every week it seems I pick a string, and it's just spooky. I pick 11, 12, 13th district, 12, 20, I don't know what that is. Spooky.
Yeah.
At any rate, some of your future constituents live part-time in New York, and I can't imagine that some of them are too thrilled with this administration removing a large quantity of the federal funds for national security that is aimed at New York, that it should have been funneled through New York. And I can't imagine that makes them too happy.
No, it does not. And as a matter of fact, when you even have Charles Schumer that comes out and speaks against that kind of lets you know that this is not something that is a partisan issue. And especially when you look at the fact that, I mean, the number one terrorist target is New York City. And, of course, we're still talking about having the Khalid Sheikh Mohammed trials up there. Now, of course, we're talking about building this 13-story mosque right there at Ground Zero. So, we should not be, cutting the funding for this, the financial center of probably the world to not have the right type of security apparatus to make sure that all those mission-essential vulnerable areas are protected. Those tunnels, Wall Street, all of these things, the airports, I mean, and, the ports, these are some critical things. And I wouldn't put it past anyone to not look at